Welcome to the Can Wine Podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. And this is our first episode of Season 4. And today we're coming literally to you from wine country in and around Niagara-on-the-Lake. And in fact, as we ended with nothing last year, we like to start with nothing, just to give us a good base point. But before we get into that, so let's start with our Wine Nerd Word of the Week. And I'd like to introduce our distinguished guest, which is Dean, the Dean of De-alcoholization. Are you there, Dean?
Greetings from Lynchburg, Virginia, Brad.
Yes, Lynchburg, Virginia, not the other Lynchburg of alcohol fame, but Lynchburg, Virginia. That's great. And do you have a decent Wine Nerd Word of the Week for us to kick off the season, Dean?
The decent Wine Nerd Word of the Week is fining, or finings, which is the material they use to help clarify the wine. It could be any number of materials.
Exactly, and in winemaking, there's a process of crushing or maceration where the grapes are actually chewed up, and it creates a lot of pulp, and that pulp needs to settle out, so you can take a lot of time to do that, which they usually do, but also using different agents to clarify the wine helps in a large way, and that's called the fining process. And in many times they'll use things like egg extracts and these sorts of things, which makes the wine not necessarily suitable for vegetarians, but there are some vegetarian fining techniques that do work as well. So fining is kind of a critical process that helps clarify the wine. Now there are some craft wines and styles that don't rely on fining, and they tend to be a little bit cloudier. But that would be another whole episode. So without any further ado, Dean, would you like to do the honors and introduce our wine of the week?
Yes, sir. Our wine of the week is made by Buzzkill Wines. It's a Sauvignon Blanc in a 8.4 fluid ounce, 250 milliliter can. And it is a non-alcoholic wine.
Yeah, and the NA market, and in fact, even on our NA episodes, have surprising viewership. I get some real interesting numbers off of that, and we don't have any alcohol in it, and it is also very low calories, 40 calories. There's a bit of potassium in it, 6%. A tiny amount of sodium and very few carbohydrates. Now, there are 3 grams of added sugars in here, which they probably add some fruit or something in the process of making it. De-alcoholized wines typically will add a little bit of grape juice concentrate or something to bring in some more of those flavors. What do they use? A spin distillation to take the alcohol out of this, or what process do they use, Dean?
I read that they use the low pressure, low temperature method of heating the wine to about 95 degrees Fahrenheit in a low vacuum situation, so it drives the alcohol off at a low temperature and leaves the wine unharmed by heat.
Yeah, and that's important because if you heat the wine up too much, you lose a lot of those aromatics and flavonoids. They break down quickly too, almost before you reach the alcohol distillation temperature. So by lowering the temperature of distillation, by lowering the pressure, you can maintain all of that flavor and not have to go to any sort of hijinks to reanimate it, so to speak. And if, in case anybody wonders why I'm wearing a knit cap, or as they would call it in Canada where I'm sitting, a toque, I think it's in the mid-50s here right now. So fall is upon us, and it may not be the season for Sauvignon Blanc, but I was at the beach yesterday, so I think we're in a good position to open this wine and continue to talk about it. Are you ready to do that, Dean?
I'm ready, Brad.
And I'm going to be using my official Pellier Estates wine glass. I was there for a tasting today. I've been traveling around the Niagara area, and it's fantastic, really. At this time of year, the the grapes are dangling from the vines, and it looks like wheat fields. There's so much wine up here. I always like to come up here, and I've been touring around a few stores, gathering up cans for the coming season. There is a number of NA things available. I did see a bottle of President's Choice Sauvignon. Wasn't Sauvignon Blanc. It was no, it was a Merlot. I saw a Merlot and a couple other reds when I was at the superstore today. So there is some market here for those too. And this Buzzkill has been sitting in my fridge for a little while in New York, and I brought it up here with me because I knew we were going to be doing this. But Buzzkill, just to give them a little bit of background before we do open it, you were saying that Molly, I think Molly was the name of the principal behind it. Molly's, what's her last name, Dean?
Molly Fedek.
Molly Fedek, and she's the founder of Buzzkill Wines, and she pulls all the wines out of a older family estate in Lodi, California, that's been around since the 1870s. And then she does have a very experienced master vinter. What is his name?
Actually, it's her. Her name is Evan Cameron, and she collaborates with Fedek on all of Buzzkill's products. And so her expertise, and Fedek has a vision for an edgy and authentic alcohol-removed wine. So it's a nice combination.
It is. It is. And the great thing about alcohol-free wines is you can enjoy them with just about anything. I'm going to be pairing mine with, I think, butter chicken and a chicken biryani that we had left over from an excellent, what's a place, Royal Indian here in Fort Erie, which is just south of Niagara on the lake. So we were there yesterday and had unbelievable momos, and then wandered down to Crystal Beach, which was a little bit stormy, but it's just spectacular. It's spectacular country up here. So without any further ado, let's do what we do on the Canned Wine Podcast, which was open cans of wine. We've certainly talked enough about it. Are you ready, Dean?
I'm ready, Brad.
Okay, let's do it. Very nice color, great clarity. For those of you who follow us, you would have seen the unboxing of this, which I was going to mention too, that Buzzkill has a fantastic deal on. I think it's great. If you log into their site, give them your email address and a small amount of shipping, you can sample one of these at home for a very minimal cost. So I know I did that, and Dean, you did as well. So if this is anything like the red, I think we're in for a treat. Definitely some Sauvignon Blanc overtones there. Almost a lemongrassy flavor smell.
Quite delicious. It's I would say on the dry side. I mean, not very sweet at all. It's
dry and crisp came to mind. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but white fruits, apples, maybe slight pear taste.
Apple for sure. It's the first thing I thought of.
And it's it has an apple aftertaste too. I'm enjoying this. I think it will go very well with my butter chicken and the chicken biryani that I have as well. Here we are, season 4. We had a simple idea not that long ago to just open a few cans of wine and talk about it, and here we are still doing that.
Might add for you, Brad, that this is a true de-alcoholized wine and not a crafted beverage.
Yeah, now to illuminate our listeners, there are some, and we will be sampling one of them coming up. I think is a Lyre's Classico, which is a I don't want to say parody, but it's an impression of Prosecco. And I think that has a little bit of different fruit taste and things like that. Now, if it's on the Canned Wine podcast, and even in the international competition, it must contain distilled, or not distilled, but fermented grape product. And this does, even though it is de-alcoholized. So even that, and the Classico, Lear's Classico, which we're going to try later, has that. But sometimes what they have to do is, after they deconstruct it by taking the alcohol out, they have to put flavors back in to make it, we can say drinkable, but maybe palatable. So at any rate, this isn't. It's more of a de-alcoholized wine with a bit of grape juice and some natural flavors, which might be fruit juices or whatever. But they did a very good job. To me, it's Sauvignon Blanc.
Very tasty, and it has a fair amount of body to it also. It's not what I would call a wishy-washy flavor.
No, definitely not. And Kana is still enjoying Shirley Sparkling Red. That's her go-to beverage now. She really likes that, and she'll be pairing it, of course, with the butter chicken that she's putting together right now. So I think we have a very interesting season coming up. We've probably got, we do assemble these things ahead of time, and I have a number of episodes, and we've charted a course, not so much in a digital sense like GPS. We use more like pirates would with a map, and we're heading in a certain direction, and we're calling it the Cantastic Journey, is what the great minds and producers have come up with. So I think this is a great way to kick off our Cantastic journey, and I hope that everyone enjoys joining us on that. I'd like to send a shout out right now to, well, I'd like to thank you, Dean, for showing up. We planned this for quite a while, and it worked out quite well that I'm up in wine country and you're down in Virginia. So that's great. I'd like to thank my friends Ken and Faye, who were enjoying us for a little tea party in Niagara-on-the-Lake yesterday. Thank you for that. And who else was there? The great people at the LCBO that pointed me in the direction of, it is a state-run liquor store, so they're able to check inventory, and they sent me in the direction of the downtown store where I was able to pick up some additional cans. I have some great Australian wines coming. We have a good selection of NA wines coming this year. And the word out of the, if anybody wants to check the International Canned Wine Competition in Mendocino County, they had a great number of wines showing up this year. Some very good competitors, and we'll be featuring those again as a premier sponsor of the international competition. So we're going to have that stuff. I think it's just going to be, every season ends and we're like, well, that was a great season, way better. I think this is going to be our best, and not to put the jinx on it, but we do enjoy opening cans of wine and talking about it, and we'll be doing that right through the season. Now, our canned, as we do in all of these episodes, we have a head scratcher, and I'll give a bonus points to anyone that can name the winery that I was sampling at this afternoon down here in Niagara-on-the-Lake. You may have to rewind me, and you'll hear that I did mention it. And they didn't have any canned wines on the floor there, so I don't have any from them, but I do have some from the area. We'll be bringing back some of the Lolas from Point Pelee, and some of the other Canadian wines that I have tracked down from my journey up here. So answer that, and we will be seeing you next time on the Canned Wine Podcast. As always, drink responsibly, and if that is an NA wine, more power to you, and if not, don't drink and drive. Always be responsible. The Canned Wine Podcast is a Center Stage production. All rights reserved.